Hello everybody, my name is Zen, and Diablo 3 is about to get a crazy update that changes a system that's been in the game since it first launched. So patch 2.7.0 has hit the PTR, and with it comes the follower revamp, which is awesome. So if you didn't hear about this already, and I'm the one to give you the news, then congratulations, you're about to get your socks rocked if you play Diablo 3. So they changed followers in a big way, or they're going to, starting with Season 23. Although it's going to be going forward past Season 23, it's going to be just a change to the entire game. And when Season 23 launches, it'll also be available non-seasonal as well. So let's check it out. Look at that. You can fully equip your follower with a relic and items. Now, if you're sitting here and you're looking at that and you're like, okay, well, you could already kind of put some items on your follower. So what's a few more items? Why does this matter? Well, it matters because you now gain some of the benefits of legendaries on your follower, which is crazy cool. So for example, one of the items that you can get to actually, work is Nemesis Bracers. So I could just pop Nemesis Bracers on my follower, and now I gain the effect of that. So shrines and pylons will spawn an enemy champion. You know that this works because it has the emanates thing below it. This also works for things like the Sages set, which we'll take a look at the bonus, just in case you haven't played Diablo 3 in a while and you haven't seen the update to the Sages set, which is craftable basically as soon as you get to level 70 now. But the set bonuses, it gives you a 2 set for 250 of each primary stat and then vitality, but it also gives you double the amount of death's breath that drop. Now, in the previous few seasons, you would be hitting 70, making a set of this really quick, so you get death's breath, which is a resource that you use for reforging gear and making items and a bunch of other things. So for this to be available as a set bonus, just baseline on your character, it's crazy cool. This is going to make farming at the beginning of a season really nice, because then you could be wearing whatever the heck you want to wear on your character, right? Without having to worry about, having to have the Sages set or whatever's going on. And the way that, again, that you see this, that it works on your characters, is it has emanates at the bottom. There's a handful of items that this works for. It's not every single one. So I'm just going to quickly go through the list of them, just so you have the current list. Now, this is the PTR. Things may change. Just keep that in mind. So Broken Crown is one of them, which is pretty cool. I mean, you can get a bunch of gems from that. It's actually really nice for people who like to just jump into a season, blow through the seasonal journey and be done, because there are things that require you to utilize your gems, and getting a bunch of extra gems with the Broken Crown is going to be nice. Plus, Broken Crown was fairly useless before for most situations, but now you can actually utilize it, which is pretty good. Homing pads, which is the one where if you go back to town, you can't be interrupted. The Spalders of Zakara, which makes it so you can't take durability on your items. You have gold skin, which is cool. So you can have a full gold setup, chance for enemies to drop gold when you hit them, including Gladiator's gauntlets on this one too, which is awesome. Costarian wrist guards, just another gold item, can be used. That one gives you XP based on the gold that you picked up. And that's cool, because that means if you're playing solo and you pick those up while leveling, you just throw those on your follower and you don't have to use them. Obviously, we said Nemesis Bracers. There's the Gloves of Worship. There's the Dovu Energy Trap, Rakof's Glass of Life, the Avarice Band. Again, you can have crazy gold setups going on your character if you so choose, and that's pretty beautiful. Creed's Flame, the Flavor of Time. Now, this one I think is going to be one of the biggest things to be able to use on your follower, because this item was used in so many builds for all different characters, and now you could just get it baseline, which is great. And here's the other thing. If you've been keeping up with Diablo 3 seasons, you know that the cube has been very important for a lot of different builds. And the fact that you're able to, slot different things in on your cubes and be able to, fill out your builds. Well, now you don't have to worry about putting items like the Flavor of Time on your character or in a cube. You have an extra slot that you can use here with your follower if you're doing solo, right? This only works while your follower is out. And then we saw the Sage's Journey, and then Kane's Destiny, which is also the XP gear, works as well. So if you're leveling up solo, if you're playing solo Greater Rifts and stuff, this thing is an incredibly new feature. On top of that, they have reworked many of the skills for your followers. So you're going to want to go either look at the patch notes and read through all of them, because there's some pretty big changes here, or just go through and read them as you go. For the Templar, 99% of the time when you were using him, you would just be like left skills. Like if someone new was playing with you in a season, they're like, what do I pick for my Templar when I go do my solo rift? You just click all the left skills. So that's the best ones. It's like, okay, cool. But they've added things like a Guardian. When you take fatal damage, the Templar rushes to your aid, knocking back enemies within 15 yards, healing you for 15 to 25% of life based on the Templar's strength. You'll notice that is kind of a new thing that really works into all of these abilities, which is based on the Templar's strength or the Scoundrel's dexterity, stuff like that. So, and shielding you from all damage for 5 seconds. So you have another save from death option. This is incredible if you're playing hardcore, especially if you're doing hardcore solo pushing. Like having that as an option is great. There's also things from like the Scoundrel has a piercing shot, which does damage or increases damage done to enemies by 10%. For 3 to 6 seconds based on their dexterity. And the Enchantress also has a bunch of new stuff as well. So I encourage you to go look at that, look at the patch notes. You can go to the main Diablo site for that, or go to Diablo fans, little pimp out there. It's just, it's nice to send people to the site that I work for. But they've also changed a bunch of other items in this patch on top of this rework. So Bones of Rasmuset for Necromancers got a pretty nice addition to how it's going to be working. And then Firebirds, once again, has been reworked for Wizards. It happens so often. It's just, at this point, every other patch, you really should expect a Firebirds rework, although maybe this one will stick. It looks pretty good. And then the final thing that I wanted to say is that on the leaderboards, so for so long, people have been asking for this, and it's finally in, which is you can now filter out the leaderboards. So, for example, that may not sound exciting until you actually get a feel for what this is. So imagine you're playing Seasons, and you're playing a build that you want to play on your character. You're like, screw it, I'm not going to worry about pushing on this because it's not going to push up Greater Rift 142, right? It's not going to do that. My build might do a 90. But maybe your build you're not just the only one playing it. There's other people playing your build. Well, now you can compete against those people. So you can go ahead and go through here and go no 6-piece set, and then you can see who's doing all of that. You can see who did a Patterns of Justice run or an Inna's run, 120 on that one. Uliana's is a 130 highest, and then the Monkey King's Garb is a 142 highest, and Raiment is a 135. So you can just go straight through solo monk, solo necromancer, solo wizard, and you could just go through all these solos and filter them out. It's incredible. That is such a huge change. Now, I know what you might be thinking, which is like, all right, Zen, there was so much Diablo news that happened at BlizzCon, right? We got the Rogue announcement for Diablo 4 as a class, which is exciting and cool and scratches my particular itch for wanting to play an assassin once again. But then you had the Diablo 2 Resurrected announcement, which is the remaster of the old Diablo 2. And that kind of took a lot of the limelight, including limelight off of Diablo Immortal, even though that looks to be like it's going to have a really big year this year. So Diablo 3 just went under the rug. It was easy to look at BlizzCon and be like, okay, well, Diablo 3 may not get a big season 23. And then just out of nowhere, they dropped the bomb of yeah, we're reworking followers, which this doing this is a pretty big deal. This isn't just adjusting some numbers and putting a random buff on everybody, right? Like this takes some time to do and get right. I think most people are going to undervalue how big of a deal this is. But at the end of the day, this is going to completely change solo players. And as someone who starts off on a season with a bunch of people, does push, right? Has a lot of fun over like 3 or 4 days, and then just wants to go and push solos because I want to usually get somewhere on the leaderboard. Although as of late, I've not had the motivation because some of the builds have just been absolutely boring and I've not liked them. But with this, it totally changes that. One, I've got my own solo leaderboards that I can compete on based on wanting to play my own sets. You know, maybe I do want to do Uliana's next season as a monk. Then that would be cool. Maybe I want to do something like Invoker on Crusader. I can do that stuff now. And then having the option of going crazy powerful on solo clearing through, gold builds. Like this is going to completely change the conquest for getting gold. It's going to make it so much easier because now you're not going to have to worry about, getting these items, the gold items, and putting it on you. You're going to get Death's Breath faster if you're playing solo, which is going to keep you a little closer to those grouped players at the beginning of a season. You have updated skills that you actually have to consider now as you're going through. You're not just like, okay, left skills. You're like, well, do I need Guardian? I'm dying a lot. Maybe I should take Guardian. Maybe I should use Templar. Maybe I should use, I need a little extra damage. Let's go Scoundrel. And just being able to consider these things and have these choices available to you is such a nice change for Diablo in general. But for season 23, it's going to spice things up a bit, even if there is no like big seasonal theme. But thank you guys for watching. This is the most excited I've been for Diablo in so long, and I cannot wait to share that excitement with all of you. If you want to help me fight the YouTube algorithm boss, which is a boss that I've been trying to do, it's like Greater Rift 155, right? It's not even in the game. It's cheating. It's 5 levels higher. Then like the video. It certainly helps. You have no idea how much it helps. Leave a comment on what you're excited to do with this follower stuff. This is cool. There's a lot of potential here. What do you think that you can get away with build-wise on your characters? And of course, if you're not subscribed, definitely subscribe because we've got some awesome daily content here. Yes, I upload daily videos. I've been doing it for 9 years and I haven't missed a single day. Whew, it's been a long one. But with that being said, thank you guys for watching and we shall see you guys next time.